So in the Western world, it's a way for, I feel really embarrassed about saying that this is a way that people make money.
Oh, I feel like I found the bliss within, and you hear things like, oh, now I'm really aware of what's going on inside my mind. You know, it's like, do you really mean these things when you say it? Because those things are powerful.
The real benefit or the real purpose of yoga is not introduced to the society yet.
Yoga, a 5,000-year-old traditional practice in Indian culture, has become a global phenomenon. A shift towards healthy lifestyle has shaped the yoga industry into one of the fastest growing fitness trends in the Western world.
Yoga is something which is the literal meaning of the word yoga itself. That means to connect to the Supreme Consciousness. We as minute, tiny consciousness, tiny beings, using a tool which is called yoga to connect with the Supreme Consciousness. That's yoga.
Yoga is a metaphor for life. Physically, it strengthens your body. It cleanses the inside of your body. Different postures are about moving and compressing our internal organs, which releases toxins from the body, which come out through the skin in the form of sweat.
For people that work in a really stressful environment, yoga can be super beneficial because they really have a space where they can relax.
However, with yoga's growing popularity, many concerns have also been raised on whether the Western practice of yoga is cultural appropriation or not.
Cultural appropriation is generally pointing out cases where cultural forms from minority groups are being adopted by dominant cultural groups in ways that are disrespectful.
Well, I'm going to preface this by saying there are going to be people who agree with me, and there are going to be people who violently don't agree with me. I do agree with cultural appropriation. I'm getting pretty sick of naked yoga, of beer yoga, aerial yoga. What is that?
So many people wearing Buddha beads and having these trousers with Buddha or Ganesh and Parvatri or whatever it is. They don't know the meaning of it.
While we know some form of cultural appropriation exists and that we shouldn't do it, many of us remain at a standstill when it comes to prevention.
As we don't choose our courses, our careers very cheaply, similarly, we should not choose yoga very cheaply. We should not choose any sort of teacher who is teaching yoga. Rather, we should go for an authorized, a bona fide teacher who himself has a discipline in yoga, who has also followed a long-standing discipline in yoga, and who also has a lineage behind him, which is called a disciplic succession, or in Sanskrit it's called Guru Shishya Parampara, who has learned from his masters, and the masters have learned from his master how to perform yoga.
If we want to learn about yoga, I think in front of the room there should be an Indian person who studied yoga in India, who is willing to teach us what yoga is really supposed to be about. I think that teachers should be trained specifically by Indian gurus.
If you want to learn the real yoga, you should go to India, because I remember taking class in London for 10 years, and when I went to India I found a different way, and I realized how many mistakes I was making during my practice. So it was super beneficial for me to go there.
I think that it's not so much about arriving at a clear answer about which rule you apply to avoid cultural appropriation. The value of cultural appropriation is that it generates generates questions. It's a new lens that we can apply that helps us to understand problems of power and of disrespect that can exist in unequal power dynamics.